Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. I just noticed that I looked at you. I said, hey, buddy, do you want to start? And then as you started, I stuck my crotch into the air and I gave it 2 booths.
What are you, the Spanish soccer coach?
And I don't know why I did that, but I just wanted to apologize to you and Sam for giving you a Monday booth.
2 mini air booths.
Yeah,
is fine.
2 little booths. I don't know why I did that.
Is it because 2 moves is coming in late?
2 moves, 2 booths. I gave 2 booths for the moves.
Moe's Comedy Jam is this Friday at
Get to
Tuffy's Music Box,
Yeah,
September
this guy's
15th.
No time for boofing.
Daniel and I will be out there, so if you want to
Does
come out.
Bustecker think we're not going? He has asked me if I want tickets like 100 times, and I keep telling him, yeah, I'll be there with Tom. But then today he hit me up again this morning, and he's like, hey, buddy, are you coming out? I'm like, dude, I would not miss it.
I don't think he believes you guys.
I would not. I kind of feel like he thinks I'm going to let him down.
Yeah, he thinks you're going to ghost him.
Have I given him this, like, a feeling that, like, am I unreliable in some way?
I mean,
Or is he just in let's get to work mode?
No, I think Tom and Dan have this. Sam's
Give
out
it
of
to
this
me straight.
because
Give it to
Sam's
me straight.
reliable.
Give it to me straight.
It's just we have a reputation that we may
Name something
be
I've missed.
Aloof in
Name
some ways.
something I've missed.
No, you don't.
You missed Ross's comedy show.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
miss that.
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah,
I mean, fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Cacao. I was like, name anything. I was like, well, here's a great example.
Last week.
This happened, like, literally happened 24 hours ago, you idiot.
I miss a lot. So
Yeah.
a lot. Anyway, so last night I'm watching the Giants get annihilated.
I didn't know
by
they were
Dallas.
that bad. And I didn't know Dallas was that good. They're not, but...
So their defense is insane. But so as I'm watching this game, it's 40-0. And what happens is the Chris Collinsworth and I forgot who, was it Joe Buck? Whoever the other announcer.
I like Collinsworth's son. I like that guy.
They start to just start talking about other topics because the game is such a blowout that they can't say very much about it.
You got to go to your sheet of fun facts
because
Dallas is just putting it on New York.
So I'm sure they have some, like the producers have some other stuff to go to.
They'll also run them in. They'll they have interns that'll run in and be like, here's some facts on.
Let's talk about like some other stuff.
They got to chirp. Kill time.
They're
honestly,
killing time.
This is where you put me in, Coach, right? They're like, we need a fun fact about Dak Prescott.
By the way, Crystal did mention multiple times, she's like, why are we still watching this? And I'm glued to the TV because I need Saquon Barkley to score under 20 points. He's playing. I'm playing SBK and fantasy football.
And SBK has Saquon Barkley.
And I was watching it like, no, Saquon every play, which is a
gamble with him. Yeah.
Anyway, so
makes you feel alive.
As I'm watching this and then kill time, Chris Collinsworth brings up Dak Prescott's tattoo. Right? And he's like, Dak Prescott got a brand new tattoo.
I like it when guys say stuff like, Dak Prescott got some new ink.
Yeah.
Looks like he got some new ink on his leg there.
And then they show the tattoo, and it's a huge leg tattoo.
It's a monstrosity that makes no sense. It's got a moose, Daffy Duck. There's some dice involved. It is a monstrosity. There's literally...
It's a full sleeve leg tattoo.
It's as if you asked a 5-year-old, what are your favorite things? He's like, I don't know, moose, dice, Daffy Duck, God, faith.
And like from thigh to ankle, like full sleeve. So as he's like, oh, look at Dak Prescott's tattoo. He's like, he was under anesthesia for 11 hours. And then I'm like, anesthesia?
You said that this morning. I didn't believe you. And then I honestly did not believe you.
And then I'm like, and then he said that in a passing comment, right? Like he didn't say like, I've never heard of that. He was just like, yeah, he was under anesthesia for 11 hours.
You know, like we do.
Yeah. And I was like, anesthesia. I was like, well, that's weird. I've never heard of that. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, do rich people get like sleeves done like with anesthesia so that they don't feel it? So they just like
are
go.
You telling me that's how Machine Gun Kelly has gotten all of his laser quick tattoo work done?
And so I was like, I've never even heard of this. So I was telling Daniel this morning.
Do it the
so
old
it
way.
Must not be true.
I do it the
I don't
old
know.
way.
It made sense.
I had my wife drop me off, and I lay there for the full time, and you talk to the tattoo artist the entire time.
I was like, I guess it does make sense if you got the money and you could pay for like Twilight, whatever, and you could be you go to sleep, you wake up with a sleeve. And I'm like, I bet rich people would pay for that.
Yeah.
So then we figured we'd call a tattoo expert.
Yeah.
Our buddy Derek Jennings from the East to talk about this. How you doing, Derek?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
That was the longest intro ever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We left him on.
I thought he had hung up.
This guy's been standing outside of his jiu-jitsu place to try and go in there and roll with the boys, and we're keeping him,
No, it's been a while since I talked to you. I'm glad Daniel still's crazy and Tom's still gambling like nuts.
Yeah.
There's no change in Derek at this point.
Derek, when you put some sweet magic down on my chest, man, when you blew it up big, and I told you, it hurt. So it was literally the most excruciating thing I've ever done in my life. But I didn't know there was an option for me to just be laying there with some doctor hold my hand.
You go to sleep, you wake up full sleep.
Yeah,
you don't go through the pain.
Sounds awesome.
I'll do every part of my body now knowing this.
So, Derek, do people do this?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been popular now maybe for a year. I mean, I obviously don't tattoo rich enough people. I just tattoo, local podcasters. But, you got to have, an anesthesiologist. And they normally have, 4 or 5 guys in the operating room at one time tattooing as well.
So, Derek, are they
crazy.
I assume they were doing, the same thing they do when you get your wisdom teeth taken out, which is the twilight, which is still sedation but not general anesthesia where they have to...
under.
Yeah, put a tube down your throat, and you have to go to the hospital to do this. You could do...
No, I mean, I think a lot of times they do it in, either a surgical center or a hospital. I'm guessing a surgical center, but typically I think they're on, propofol, so they're, kind of out, but not out all the way. It's the same Michael Jackson stuff.
Okay.
Yes. You wake up with a fresh tattoo and a young boy.
So
that's it, yeah, and just in pain.
Now, what are your thoughts about this, Derek? Because I started thinking about it even further, and this is what I was thinking. So without the actually sitting through the pain of a tattoo, right? Because that's always been a thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think it means less.
There was no getting a tattoo without the pain. I mean, obviously you can minimize it through. I know back in the early 2000s, there was painkillers.
What a sweet time to be alive.
There's a lot of hey, take this Loratab, and it'll help you with the pain.
You remember the deal when Butler was here? I bought some Chinese goo. Some green Chinese goo,
That's
the numbing,
topical.
Yeah, and I rubbed it all over my chest, and for maybe 20 minutes it worked, but the rest of the time it was hell.
But to be actually sedated, and essentially, even if you're on Twilight or whatever, and you're not totally unconscious, you don't remember it all. So essentially, it's you being sedated and then waking up and it's over. It takes the whole pain aspect of sitting through the pain of a tattoo out of it. What's your thoughts on that, Derek?
I mean, I don't know. Younger Derek would have told you, a tattoo isn't a tattoo without all the pain, but now I'm old and they hurt real bad. So I think this is just some poor people complaining. You know what I mean?
I was
could be that.
I was going to say, because there is a
if
part
you
of
could
me.
afford it.
Yeah, there's a part of me that wants to say it's the cheesy way out, but there's also a side of me that says I want more tattoos, and if I know this is an option, I'll just budget it in if I can.
Do you have any?
I mean, I don't know the prices of that. I'm guessing, something like that's going to be, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000.
Oh, then never mind. I won't be doing this.
Right. If I could afford it, I'd do it, but I cannot afford it.
That won't be happening.
I mean, you're booking a area in a surgical center, and you have to have someone, an anesthesiologist, give you the propofol or the Twilight.
I would assume,
yeah, and then
monitor you the whole time. And then there's normally, like I said, I've seen rappers and stuff do it, and they have 4, 5, 6 artists working on a full back piece at one time.
Yeah.
So, you go to sleep, wake up 10 hours later, and you have a full back
awesome.
piece. It would have taken 70 hours.
Now, Derek, is there some truth to the idea that you don't necessarily want to work the skin for that amount of time and finish it up in one session? Or is that a fallacy?
No, I mean, I know a lot of guys that do full day rates that tattoo people for 12 hours. I mean, your body does, after that kind of time, you get the shakes. And I mean, honestly, some people have a little bit of a shock syndrome afterwards, or even you can feel sick the next day because your body is fighting so much that it kind of lowers your immune system. But I mean, people regularly tattoo for 10 hours, 12 hours. It's pretty common. I don't, because I'm just sore and old, and I just don't want to sit there that long.
No, I got it. Yeah, and I don't want to sit there that long either. But I always kind of thought, maybe it was better to let it heal and then come back and do it. But yeah, I guess if you can do it all in one shot, why not? $100,000 later.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you have limited money and you want the full leg tattoo,
and you want it now,
and you want to wake up with it, and then you're like, it's done.
It does satisfy that part of me, because I'm that type of person, right? Let's not get it twisted or wrong in any way. I am the type of guy, and one of the reasons why I still like stores is if I want a motorcycle, I don't want to order it from Amazon. No, I want to go down there and see it and get, you know what I mean? So there's something to be said about that.
Derek, does it take some, I guess, this is kind of stupid because there's really a badge of honor or something with getting
I think there used to be. I think there used to be a badge of honor for getting tattoos.
Well, because it did, like, if you had a full sleeve or full leg sleeve or whatever.
I felt this before.
Like whatever it is.
It shows that I'm more dedicated.
Or that you could sit through pain for 10 hours.
It means I'm tough.
Yeah, there's a toughness aspect
I'm
to
tougher
it.
than you, Dak Prescott.
You're
weak.
Technically, you are.
I am.
Now, you can argue.
I am Orlando. I'm tougher than Dak Prescott. I'm Orlando's Dak Prescott.
Now, I guess Dak Prescott could say, because I've seen Dak Prescott break his ankle in half and then sit there and take it, so he's kind of tough, too.
Yeah, he's kind of tough, too. You're right. That's a tough one.
He could say, listen, I'm rich and I'm a superstar. I don't have the time. Because, Derek, without doing this, how long would this – I don't know if you saw Dak Prescott's leg sleeve, but –
Don't call it that.
I know, I hate it.
Don't say leg sleeve.
Is that what it's called?
Is that the correct term, Derek?
Is it from, like, his ankle to, like, his thigh? Or
yes.
Like
yes.
Yes, I mean, it's a leg sleeve.
All right.
I hate the term.
Yeah, rattles
We
my
need
bones.
another term. It's not a sleeve.
How long would that take,
pant?
Derek?
Pant. It's a leg pant.
Derek, if I went to you and I wanted it was only black. It was like black and shaded. It wasn't color, but it was a lot of shading. But if I got a full just black
Dice, Daffy Duck, Moose,
leg sleeve,
44.
His
how
mom,
long
his brother.
would that? How many sessions would that take with you?
I mean, it's hard to tell. He probably got a huge leg. And, I mean, the black and gray realism stuff honestly could take a long time. I mean, that could take 50 hours, 60 hours. You know what I mean? Like if it was just one person chugging away at it. It just depends on the style and stuff, you know?
And that includes like going to the plays, so
I feel
you're
like
talking
that's all
about
part of
days.
it. Yeah, but I feel like that's all part of it.
Like you're talking about probably like what?
Apparently,
2 months?
He did it at his own home.
I mean, you're probably going to have 5 to 10 sessions maybe on it.
Wait a minute.
Maybe 5 or 6 sessions.
He
or
did
6
this
hours
at
a
his
day.
own home, so he didn't even have to try to go to ABC liquor store afterwards and get some beer to numb his. Like he's not having to drive while it's oozing down it. No,
He's
If
asleep.
I
love it.
No, this is not. It's not. It's. God.
We're going with full legger. That's what we're going to call it.
All right,
That's what Chad-
Full legger.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
So you think that this will become more? I mean, are tattoos becoming less painful just because of the quality of
That's a
the
good
equipment?
question. Yeah.
I mean, there's different machines now. They have like pin machines and rotary machines that, I mean, people say they hurt less, but they're quiet instead of like the traditional machines with the magnets. Like I use the magnet machines that are loud.
He does.
But a lot of people say they hurt less, but I honestly think that's just because you don't hear the machine buzzing.
I think he's right.
But-
It's a weird, if you think about that, and Derek and I had a long discussion about this while he was doing my chest piece. And yeah, his machine is like, it's a motorcycle. Like you hear it. I mean, it's loud, right? But there's other ones that almost are pneumatic that are just like.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I
you don't
think
hear
that
nothing.
they would tell you that they don't hurt as much. I don't know. I mean, maybe I just say that because I use the loud machine. But
I like I like the loud.
Yeah.
Is there you think there's going to be a day where I think we've discussed this before, but that they can somehow like do tattoos without needles and some like I think you stick your arm inside some sort of computer and it like lasers the tattoo onto your arm. And then you could change it anytime you want. You know what I'm saying? Like how like flippant can tattoos get where it's like they're not as permanent as they once were.
And the process is quicker.
The process is quicker, painless. And
You're talking like a full Rico's Roughneck scenario where like you put your arm in the machine and the laser gives it to you.
Yeah. Like is that going to be a reality?
I mean, probably. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it really just depends, I guess, with technology. I mean, if you look at the way the tattoo technology has come in the last 100 years, it's pretty wild. I mean, they didn't even have the color purple until like the 40s. So you know what I mean? It's kind of come a long way.
All black people in color purple.
Well, Derek,
Oprah Winfrey in that.
If anybody wants to get a tattoo, do you want to plug how to get in contact with you?
Sure, yeah. I use mostly my Instagram. It's just Derek Tattooer, DEREK. I work at the East Tattoos, which is kind of like across the street from Lake Ivanhoe in Orlando, kind of in that area. And yeah, reach out to us.
Last question. How many people have come to you with stupid AI drawings that they want you to tattoo?
I haven't actually had that yet.
Really?
I mean, I'm sure it will pretty soon. It's a pretty interesting
It's
thing.
in the air.
But
It's
not
in the
yet.
air because I see people that'll be like, well, just get on AI and just have it design your tattoo. And it'll do it. It'll do it.
Yeah, they've always. I've seen a couple of them. They're always drawn a little funny. It's definitely not there yet, but maybe the next 10 years. I don't know.
All right, Derek, take it easy. Thanks for talking to us this morning. I had never heard of this before.
Yeah, me neither.
Until last night, but it makes perfect sense. But it does seem like I value the commitment a little less.
Oh, I bet he does too. Take care,
Yeah,
Derek.
I mean,
sorry.
I don't know. Like I said, they hurt, man. I hate getting tattooed. So I guess if I had enough money and I can weasel an angle on it to not have it hurt, I probably would.
100%.
Yeah, I think everybody would, but I wonder if he values it less because he had to do less to get it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he just woke up and he had a sleeve.
It's kind of like the kid that had to earn his tattoo. At least this is what I've always been told. Understands what it took to earn that tattoo, but the person that just woke up and was gifted it, he doesn't understand the true value of the tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I think you might have a little inner monologue thing going on there, man.
Yeah, it's just the same thing my dad said about earning my first car. All right, buddy, we'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, man. I'll talk to you guys later.
Be good. Later.
Well, speaking of earning, I thought
that's
of
the
other
same spiel my dad gave me about my '82 Rabbit. My dad was like, I was like, these other kids, their dads just buy them brand new Volkswagen Jettas, and my dad was like, well, those kids don't understand the value of their car, and you had to earn your car, and it's full on yours with your money. Bought it for $600. That's all I had.
Yeah, and then it becomes a mentality,
and he was right.
right?
He was kind of right because it was the only $600 I had. So it did mean more to me than if you just do the math on what happened. The kids that were gifted the cars, traditionally their cars were torn apart because it didn't mean as much to them. Like my car did mean a lot to me because I remembered how long it took me, years, to save money to do it.
Yeah, it's
but
so
does
complicated.
that even work anymore? This old man math or this mumbo jumbo?
Yeah, I was really fighting the urge to hit the button.
But is it a thing anymore?
Well, it sounds like back in my day. That's what it
does.
sounds like.
But I mean, I do think that I valued it more. Like this company,
I think the car analogy is a little different than the tattoo analogy, but
so
I don't care.
No, it really.
I don't.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Who cares? Like he's rich and he can pay for this, so it's fine.
It's not even in my world.
I just think the tattoo culture has changed so much.
Yeah. And it has changed.
I think older people probably will feel that way, right?
Well, young
cool,
people won't
though.
be able to do this. This is just a rich thing.
Yeah,
because
I look at it and I go like, wow.
I'm not saying they could do it. I'm just saying I think to them it's a nothing. Like, it's shocking to you, but to them they're like, yeah, why wouldn't I do that? You know what I mean?
It's only shocking to us because it really wasn't an option.
Right.
But think about say you have Dak Prescott's peer, right? That's not as rich as him, right? So someone that is...
Oh, is this another player you're using?
A friend of Dak Prescott from college.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So he doesn't have $80 million like Prescott. And he has a leg sleeve or a legger.
He'll probably cost
full legger.
I would say between, let's say, $750 and maybe $2,000 he'd pay.
And then if you're standing there, you got your legger. Dak Prescott has his legger. You have to
I'm taking legger back. I don't like when you say it.
No, I don't.
It is very disgusting when he says it. It sounds like a dog.
Legger.
So and you're both looking at each other's leggers, and you're like,
Stop.
well,
that was better.
The one that I had to be awake through this pain. So
Can
this
I notice
sucks for you, bro.
Do I notice it?
But it's like
there's
this.
no discernible way for me to determine which one is the one that was the person that was awake. Or do you get that tattooed on there? At the very bottom, do you write, I was awake, no sedation
Raw
used
dog.
in this tattoo?
Well,
This is a no sedation legger, and then have the artist sign it.
Let's say that there's the technology that you...
Now you're going to talk about real babies versus test tube babies.
Well, let's talk about a conversation we've had before where you're on the opposite side of the argument with weight loss surgery, right?
Yeah.
Does it mean any less? Maybe to some people, but what does it matter to the person that did it?
No,
Yeah,
it
the end
extends your
result
life.
is the same.
Right.
Yeah, the end result is the same. But if the person that had the surgery compared
Remember
to
when you told the fitness lady in here just do the surgery?
yeah,
Oh, I love that. That was one of my favorites.
Well, I only like to
Her entire you're crapping on her entire job.
I just like to go against when I know someone's gonna be.
Yeah.
No,
You're doing it.
Yeah,
You're doing the
I'm
crystal.
doing
What
the thing.
Crystal gets mad about. Yeah, we've talked about
I
that.
know the fitness person's gonna say no, the fitness, and then I'm gonna be like, just do the surgery.
I'm going to give
I'll
you the
just
real
go.
answer then. I'll
Yeah.
give you the authentic answer.
Okay.
You know, I mean, all of us here are considered, I think all three of us are considered heavily tattooed to most people. But I would say for mine, I do look down because I have tattoos. When I look at Dak Prescott, even though the tattoo looks gorgeous, it's not my thing, I
It's
do look down on
easier.
it. It is easier. So when I look at it, I want to say, I'm tougher than you. And I am.
Yeah. Now, but again, I guess he could be like, this is just a time thing. And then
Yeah,
it's
well,
like,
Here's
I guess
the point in
he's
the
right.
chat.
I had to
Suffering,
walk to a hideaway bar because my wife couldn't pick me up and I was sweating.
suffering for the sake of suffering's lame. We don't bite down on our belts during amputations anymore.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I mean,
I'm just
back in the day
saying-
when you had surgery, you couldn't go under. But
Yeah,
now
I'm
you
just
can.
saying what I want to say because I don't have the like you said. I'm being spoiled.
But
you
it's
know,
not
being
like
a baby.
poor people get to like they don't get anesthesia when they amputate their feet, and then rich people do. But like this is
Right.
a now.
Well, it's cosmetic, yeah.
And
this is
we're in an area where the rich people can afford to do this.
Rich people
and-
can afford to do a ton of things we can't do.
No, but the tattoos seem like the one thing that I've never heard of that differentiate.
It
I
also-
know like rich people can afford to do a lot of. I mean, they're traveling, but unless they get my propofol travel
well,
business,
no, this is all in his
But-
house.
but
Like,
it's
this is all a doctor that some doctor. It's a private medical person
yeah.
that you paid that doesn't work right. That came and that's all they do, right?
Yeah.
And it's privately in your home, and you hire the doctor to do that.
under sedation, and then they come and
That's
they.
super specialty, man.
What if they like in the future you're able to be like you get a person to come put you to sleep
Yeah.
and then shock your muscles 3 days a week until you were fit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're I'm pro it. I'm pro all of this.
And then you have this person that's fit as muscular, right? And then another person that's muscular, and one did the go to sleep muscle shock, didn't have to do any workout himself, right? And then the other one had to work out to get those muscles. Are they valued the same?
Okay,
Is it both the end result, like both the same?
With this one, no. With the workout one, I would say no, because the value of knowing how your body works and working that out and being a part of that process, I think, will teach you things you need to know to keep yourself healthy versus just going to sleep and waking up healthy. You don't really know any of the process behind being healthy.
But I
I
guess-
think there is value to that.
But if the result, if you had
You
unlimited
should
money,
be super pro this, especially with your whole just Google everything.
No, but he likes
Yeah,
grit.
yeah.
He's always like looking for
He
grit.
says he likes
and this is
grit.
the opposite of grit, right? This is like now if he.
but again, I
He's
feel-
also throw money at it.
I like
Yeah,
the time
you are
thing,
throw-
though.
yeah.
I do like the time argument. Like, if Dak Prescott says, like, no, Dan, if we were buddies, right, and we're talking, and I'm like, I'm giving him S because I think you cheaped out, and he's like, no, dude, this had nothing to do with the pain. You know I'm tough. I'm a football player, for Christ's sake.
Right.
I did this
like I
because,
said,
I did
I've
this
seen
because
him
of
broken.
time.
His ankle was
Yeah.
broken in half.
Yeah, it was
and
pretty
he was
severe.
yeah, I
sitting
don't
there.
think it's a thing
No,
of like
yeah,
he
It's not a
can't
pain
take
thing.
the pain.
It's just he didn't want to be down. He's got a job where he can't
Yeah.
be down for like a month and not working out. He has to stay fit working out. So to get it all done in one shot, I can make the argument behind the time thing. Totally can get on board with that.
Yeah. Anyway,
You can't even mention the pain thing.
it's interesting.
You have to have them wake you up during it just so you can feel the pain one time.
They said he was awake for like the end. I don't know what that means. How
Yeah,
long
Yeah.
that is,
I mean,
but
it's goofy. It's probably like me waking up at the dentist.
It does.
Ah, that's pretty cool, man.
yeah.
Like going back to remember when I was talking about like being put to sleep and then wake up in the different location, like you're time traveling
Yeah.
forward or whatever. Like I wonder if people will start doing that, like using medical science
They
and
might
like,
already.
sure.
They might already be
Yeah,
doing that
yeah.
and running our country. Like, I don't know.
Do you think super rich people?
I imagine that people like have you seen how old all of our politicians are?
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
don't think somebody's putting them asleep and waking them back up at the thing?
Right.
I'm virtually certain it's happening, right? It
Yeah,
has to be
yeah.
happening with all of them.
What else could you do that you take away like the minutia of something that's like hard to do?
I got one for Samantha, for Andrea. I mean, sometimes my wife can sit for 3 hours getting her hair done. If she knew that they could put her in a thing and literally put her under or whatever, and she didn't have to like sit there and fiddle on her phone or small talk, wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
I mean, Sam gets some pretty sophisticated nails done. Would you go under if they could do it in, like, let's say 15 minutes and you could pop right out like a little smelling salt and you're down the road?
Why? Yeah, everything instantaneous is great. What are we talking about?
How long does it take when you do like something?
Depends if there's designs or not, but at least an hour.
At least an hour for the craziest one. So you see, I'm like, dude, for you, Sam's right. You should be pro this. Why are you not pro this for everything?
I'm not pro or against it. I'm just talking about it because the first time I've heard it, like, where else does it lead? Like, in the future, what if you were able to download information into your brain, right? In the future. So, and then what if you're able to download a Harvard degree into your brain if you could afford it? And you have the same knowledge.
Some say that some people get that degree without earning it anyway when you have money. But
then just getting a diploma and, is different than actually, the knowledge.
I mean, if you have the money, it's limitless, bro.
Yeah.
Cool, just like the movie.
So then,
I like that movie.
But is it valued the same? Like the person.
Does it matter if you don't care? If the person themselves, why do they care if somebody else values it or not?
Because they don't. Because like
society, I guess.
If you get to it right, the only reason that I would be mad, to go back to our original example, the only reason I would be mad at Dak Prescott for doing what he did is because I am not allowed to do it because I'm not as rich. It's jealousy, right?
I think for Tom, it's a conundrum because he cares what people think. So I think he's like, is he going to be upset when people don't think that there's value in this because he did the easy way out? Or it's like, why does he care?
Which one has the most value? It would be the guy who did it authentically.
Maybe
depending on what people think about it, right?
Yeah, because there are people right now. I'm not one of them. I don't think our show is skewing this way, but I don't think anybody here looks down on Dak Prescott for doing that, right? We don't.
No one really cares about anything.
But there are plenty of people covered in tattoos that heard about this, and instantly their reaction was boo.
Right.
I even did it as a joke. I'm like, boo this man, boo.
The thing is, if Chris Collinsworth hadn't said it, I would have never even thought that was a thing.
I didn't think it was an option. No, me neither.
Once you brought it up, I looked into it. I'm like, oh, wow, a lot of people have had it done.
And it was the first time I've ever heard it. And
I had never heard it.
And I'm sure Dak Prescott.
But I'm not shocked by it either.
No, it doesn't shock me. I'm amazed about it.
I'm like, damn it, I wish I was rich.
Yeah.
Is he?
That's what I think.
Does he mention it when people complimented on his tattoo?
Yeah.
Does he say?
He does.
There was a whole interview with him. He talked about
it.
All
about it, and I think you have to be. Because if you hide that fact, then you're playing by the old rules, which is you tell people.
So, for instance, in sports, there's especially like in baseball with the whole performance-enhancing drugs thing, there's asterisks next to certain players that scored home runs during certain seasons, like Barry Bonds and McGuire and whatever. Yeah. They're like, well, is this the same? Should this count the same? Because we know they were on steroids, right? So then, their record has hell. Here's the record, but there's a steroid star.
They're saying yes and no. They're saying yes and no.
Yeah. So it's like they're saying
make up your own mind is what it reads to me, right? It's like make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to believe.
Yeah. So anyway, I just found it interesting because I'd never heard of it, and so it.
So when you get your next tattoo,
man, it'd be nice to do it for just little tattoos. Where it really excels, those little tattoos, right? Follow me with this.
Well, not enough time, but the little tattoo is
the little tattoos hurt. This is if I were rich, man, I'd go in and like pop me some propofol, get me down for about an hour.
Well, that is too short.
No, dude, that's when it excels because you know that Dak was still in pain. When you wake up and your leg has been drilled down for 11 hours, that thing is swollen and all nasty.
Oh yeah.
But I'm talking about you get a little Winnie the Pooh on your butt and he's holding balloons. Like, walk that thing out in like an hour. Oh, man. Throw a little.
Especially, depending on, the location,
Yeah.
Certain places are more pain. The throat.
Yeah, or I could sit for most of my arm, but when you get to this ditch area, I'm like, put me down.
Just put me down for the whole thing.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Screw it.
God, I didn't even know that was a thing, man.
Is there anything else that we do in life that it normally takes, pain and hard work, but we can, throw money at all paint it or work it.
The tattoo thing has been encompassing, and they're getting crazy good at it, and I've been seeing this a lot.
Any body modification.
Well, on my algorithm, I've been getting a lot of guys that are getting their hairline tattooed, and I get a lot of ladies that are doing the permanent makeup, but not the way you think. Not just the black. They're getting like light shades of the colors that most complement their skin tone. And it's permanent.
Sam, let me ask you this. If someone has a nose ring, but it's fake, like it doesn't go through their nose, it just clips on there, is it valued the same as a nose ring jewelry that someone else has? You can't tell the difference because it's like clipped onto your nose, but one's going through.
For me, I don't care.
No, I know, but is it the same thing
if
or
I
different?
see a woman that has clip-on earrings, I find her I find them disgusting.
I mean, you never even know. Who knows?
No, I know.
But
if you tell me you're like, I have to use clip-on earrings because my body rejects cheap metals, I look at you as you're the weakest. You're the weakest
this
person
isn't
on
my
the planet.
natural hair color. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know. Although, like, that is.
I'm a fake blonde.
Yeah.
I got real nose rings. I don't know what that matters.
I guess it would.
Fake blonde, real nose rings. That's like a rap song.
It's not really about a fake.
There was a big contention when I was gauging my ears. Like, because they sell the fake gauges, right? Where it's just a regular earring on the inside, but on the outside it looks like a big.
Are you serious? That's a thing?
Mm-hmm. And
Man,
like, in that culture,
man.
a lot of people get really upset about it. I don't really care either way.
Of course.
Honestly, I try to talk people out of it because most people do it unsafely, and then their ears are all effed up.
But on one aspect,
I've seen that a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
You see a lot in Florida. That's a
and
Florida.
then they gotta like sew them shut.
That's a Florida thing.
That's a good analogy because I know people that have like stretched their earlobes out.
It takes a long time if you do it properly.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot
you
of
can't
commitment.
rush it either,
pain.
from what I'm told.
I mean,
right?
you can, but you're gonna mess it up.
Right. So if there was a way to do that overnight.
They do that. They actually do.
They cut it,
They
though.
punch. They
Yeah, they
punch a
punch
hole,
it
but
out
then
like
you can't ever. It'll never go back.
Right,
Yeah,
it's like punching out scallops from a stingray at that point. Like
Yeah.
that makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a tattoo guy, but what you just said, I feel like I want to throw up right now.
But the person,
a lot of piercers will not do that.
That's slow. Like, even the tribes that stretch their necks.
Yeah,
right.
It takes a long time though, and it's got meaning. Okay, that's another example though. They would never. Go to the tribe.
Maybe stretch it overnight.
But they're not going to do that because the whole point of that is a meaningful process that has some sort of cultural significance.
What about the guy that grows his nails out?
Well, there
takes forever.
In tattue culture, there used to be some
What if I just
sort of that.
instantaneously put on some long curly acrylics?
Now you hit it. Now you hit it because if your relationship
we do this all in like micro little things anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because like even like my nails are real, but a lot of people will get the fake nails. You know how long it takes to grow your nails out that long?
Andrea did it one time.
Yeah, there's certain commitment.
There's
and
little, people dye their hair, get hair, it's
Andrea did it for like a year and like absolutely hated it. Like she was just like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do with my nails. Like so hard.
Yeah.
To like keep them nice because you're using them constantly.
They break and stuff like It's but if you could achieve it, it's more of an achievement than the fake nails.
Though?
I guess
that's my question.
Right.
Who
to
is
no
an
one,
achievement
but
to?
it's just in general, right? Like
I mean, Dak did take away. Look, I think this is what you're saying. To me, like my chest piece, it is a source of pride. I love the art. It's a meaningful tattoo to me. But in knowing that you can just like go. Take the drugs and get blasted, no big deal. It does take a little bit away.
It still took 11 hours to do. He just wasn't awake for it.
Yeah.
But
I kind of want him awake. I want him like shaking a little bit, like whoo, man. Like I
don't care. Yeah. Like I don't feel like just because I suffered having to do something, someone else should.
No, I know. I agree, but I'm just saying the gut reaction as a human. I want him to suffer a little bit.
Is it anywhere close?
That recovery process is gonna suck.
Real bad.
I know this doesn't make sense at all, but
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. No, nothing I've been saying has made sense.
Say you have a Super Bowl ring, and someone walks in and be like, "Oh, you got a Super Bowl ring?" And you go, "Yeah, Super Bowl." Let's say 5 years ago, but I never played. I was just on the bench.
Are you talking about EJ?
So
are you comparing a tattoo that you weren't awake for to winning a championship and not playing one snap in the game? I think I can get on board with this.
Championship ring from UM, and then you have it on, and someone's like, "Oh, I see you got a."
What did
I bought it from a pawn shop.
You got a natty ring,
and they say, "What did you do?"
Well, buying it from the pawn shop is like totally false.
That takes you out of the Venn diagram.
But you had it, but you never played in the actual game. You were part of the team,
right?
Yeah.
it's got to mean different than if you're Jeremy Shockey, and you played in a game and you had a touchdown.
Right.
And
so you're saying in this equation, Dak Prescott, you weren't there. You just got the tattoo because you because you were part of the team.
In the tattoo world, he is EJ. right?
Yeah, a little bit.
He cheated. He skirted the work it took and just got the ring at the end.
You didn't have to sit through it. You didn't have to endure. You were asleep.
It was a long way to try to get there.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm okay with it.
Is it because you lost some bets with him?
I'm currently growing a goatee for 1 month. It's going to be real bad.
I love your spelling of goatee. I don't know how that happened.
I've started spelling it like that.
Do you have autocorrect on your phone, or
he turned it off?
Okay.
He likes to go rogue.
I don't like their suggestions.
Yeah.
Suggestions.
Yeah, I use Grammarly. He's like, man, that Grammarly, they'll correct every damn thing you say. I was like, I don't think I say anything right.
I'm like, I like the way I spell it.
With an O. I put an O in diarrhea, just like the Brits.
Goatee.
Oh, God. So you are going to grow a goatee?
I lost the bet. I have to.
Is it growing now?
Man, that is
this the first day of growth?
Day one.
Yeah. Day
How
one.
long do you have to go?
1 month.
Are you gonna let me?
There's barely gonna
can
be.
You
So
let
I
me?
have a full Chandler.
Can I color it black before you shave it? So
Yeah.
Okay.
We could do. Yeah.
Does your wife know this is happening?
No, I don't tell her.
She's gonna be really upset, dude. She
you
likes your
think,
baby face.
She won't notice until she's like,
She'll notice
be
Thursday,
like,
I know that.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Shave your mustache. And I'll be like, I lost the bet again. Then she'll have this whole conversation about why are you
her
doing
socks
this.
aren't going to go on fast enough.
Yeah, I know.
I had such good closing line value too on this.
I thought you were going to talk about
it.
something important like your wife. He did. He went right to gambling. I thought he was going to say something about Crystal. He did. He was talking about line values.
Yeah. Steelers were even going at +3. I was like, this is the best bet I've had all year. Lost.
The jinx was all those ads they were running about him not ever having a losing season. Why would you say that 1,000,000 times?
Well, they say it every year. I think they do it on purpose.
To try and get,
they'll continue to do it. But, man, they blew it. And how is Brock Purdy just, like, last pick of the draft? He played well last year. I was like, no way. Coming off elbow surgery or whatever, like a pretty serious thing. I'm like, he's not going to just step back in and have just a great game.
Step back in.
Step back
great
in.
game. Great game, Purdy. Great game.
He looked so calm. How's this guy so calm?
He does look calm. Yeah, he looks like a child. I was showing Maisie.
Younger than Burrow.
I was like, you need to be like that.
Yeah. And just
Burrow. I've already moved on. From Burrow.
How many players never got drafted that could have been that good?
Endless,
so many.
Endless supply.
Yeah.
Humans are amazing.
They just got passed by because just their draft position or whatever, they're just a backup.
What if we could put you to sleep and put a beard on you when you woke up? Would you do it?
There we go.
Because you can't grow one.
There we go.
Okay.
I bet you that's a real thing. I bet you
beard transplants.
I bet you we look hard enough.
Would you do
it?
it?
Okay.
Would you do it?
Is there less value in your big bushy beard if it's?
I think there is.
Okay.
Because I thought about
you would never.
I've always wanted
it.
a beard.
You would never do it because it wouldn't be a true, authentic beard. The only way you want it is if you're able to grow it yourself.
If I was rich
and you wake up with the Dak.
But the thing is, if I was that rich, I would be like, what the hell do I care about a beard? It's kind of hard.
I think you'd be worse, buddy.
But I've always wanted
a beard. You'd have all the transplants.
If you're rich and you've always wanted a beard, why would you not?
I feel like
you're right.
See, everybody thinks that I would do it because they think I'm crazy. But what we're learning is that you are crazier than me. And I think you would have all the implants.
But if
you'd already be on testosterone.
Yeah.
Right?
If I had a beard, though, and me and Daniel's beards would be unequal.
Would you look down on him,
fake.
Dan? Would you look down on him for his fake beard?
Well, let's be honest. I would say things to try and knock his beard down, but his beard's going to look better than mine because he's going to throw money at it. I have a normal, patchy, regular dad beard. It's not a good beard. It's just a beard.
But it's better than 10 times better than I can grow.
But it's still like a 6 or a 5. It's
no,
not
your
like
beard's a solid 7.5.
No, well, thank you. I appreciate you didn't need to say that. But it's not like
he
Garrett's
threw the half
beard.
in there.
It's not like John the Barber's. John the Barber has a 10 or a 9.8, like where it's thick, and then the next day you can like blow it. Beard pops right back out.
Well, it's like if you get like hair transplants or like technically it's not the same as someone that has their full head of hair, even though they both have the same
I do not
results,
look down
right?
on hair transplants. I do not.
It's not that you look down on it, but it's not the same as someone who doesn't have that, right?
I think I make it the same. Steve Carell.
If you have plastic surgery and you're standing next to someone your same age and you look better than them, it's like, well, we as a society we are like, well, they had plastic surgery.
But the hair, I don't. For some reason, just maybe this is just me
personally. Is it because
they
had hair and they lost it?
Yeah, the hair.
You know what I mean?
Hair
Instead
to
of like
me is different than plastic surgery. Hair to me, like when you've changed the way that you look and you've altered your aging process, like the hair thing, falling out, I get it. But when you have hair, I don't look at it like plastic surgery at all.
Okay, in the future they're already doing this a little bit, but you're able to like take out certain cancers before you're even born.
The hair on my legs has fallen out on the back of my legs, and I want to have that
going full Tony.
Reimplanted.
So
like I have smooth calves now.
150 years from now, when rich people are being born with perfect genetics,
yeah.
cancer-free, ripped body, like you're born Tyreek Hill genetics.
It's like Build-A-Bear now. You can pick what color eyes they want.
Yeah, and you pick on like, are they going to be on the same playing field as say a poor person was born just by the roll of the dice the same? The person that was born that way is valued higher, right, than the person that bought it genetically.
No, you know why not?
No?
It's because the poor person is not going to account for natural anomalies and tumors and cancers and free radicals that'll still be in there, where you can control that in the other person that you've sort of controlled it already.
Yeah.
So, yes, the poor people will have a spike, and some of them will be as good, but they won't live as long as the creations that we've made.
But is the creations, like, society will be like, oh, this person was created. It's not like I was born natural.
I think it'll go the other way. I think it'll go the other. Well, it may go that way, but I think the people that
are they ill natural?
Yeah, I think people be natural.
Yeah.
That's definitely what I think. That's definitely what I think.
I like a good ill natural. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
That was fun.
Hey, what's up, dude? Sorry.
What's up, man? Where's this go sound?
Monday 1 and 2.
Thank you so much.
So no one's gonna bring up Tom growing a beard and Chaz Bono, like that whole.
What do you mean? We've made that joke for years.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised it wasn't brought up again.
Well, now he's going goatee, which is a choice.
Is Tom and Dan pro eugenics? No, I don't think we're really pro anything. We're
not pro anything.
Yeah, I think we're anti everything.
They're not even professional.
Mm-mm.
9:11. New arms here.
What's that, buddy?
Fancy new mic stand.
Yeah, I hope it works for you. Feel free to move it like whatever you need. My brain is. What up, Ron? Man, Ron, I haven't seen you in a minute, buddy. How was your cruise? I hope you had a good time. It looked like you were having the fucking time of your life. Oh, we already have a Monday.
We have Monday 3 and 4. It should be 3 and 4. That was when we had Mo in, and then we talked to Garrett.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick too. How you doing, Kenny? Good to see you, man.
I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. Okay, let me restroom real fast.
Kenny should bet Tom something right now, says EJ.
You should have bet me, Sam.
I'm not a bettor. I'm not a clown like Tom.
Wait, didn't you and Tom have a Super Bowl bet? Granted, I know
that's a different thing because he intimidates me with my job. He told me I had to, or
what? I did not say you had to.
Or you guys know how it is.
Well, also potentially, didn't you do it when you were like really drunk during one of the Super Bowl casts?
The bet?
Or was the bet before then?
The bet.
The bet was like a year or two ago because it was when TikTok. It was like right when you guys got on TikTok.
Yeah, I forgot about
that. What was that?
Well, that was when the Bucks were in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
we did like
2 years ago.
Bet
Yeah. All right, so we'll put this for
Tuesday.
Yeah, let's just do Tuesday 1.
I realized I need to start putting my blanket or my sweatshirt over my legs like an old granny in here. And I wanted to do it, but I was going to say how long it took you guys to point it out that I'm this is my who am I? FDR. I'm FDR. Didn't they always have a blanket on his legs?
Yeah. Old men get cold legs.
Well, especially him in a wheelchair. In a wooden wheelchair. Nothing spookier than a wooden wheelchair.
Also, his legs were deteriorating, so they wanted to put a blanket so the president during World War II didn't have, the perception of weakness.
It's like, this guy can't even walk, and he's sending young GIs out. Sorry.
You were talking about the tattoos on there. When you said the hairline stuff, I know a lot of people are doing it to, like, fill in the gap, so they're just tattooing little dots in their hair.
That's what they do.
In order to, like, fill in.
And it works.
They do that with the beards, too.
Yeah, it works until all your hair falls out, and then you have a dot head. Then you're dot head.
Yeah,
I'm
just have
allowed
to
to
keep
say
doing
that.
it.
I'm allowed to say that. Different kind. Okay. All right. Would you like to start, Tom?
Are we doing this as 1 or 3?
Yeah, let's do.
I don't think Kenny can be contained to 1, right? He's an all-day 3.
You want to do 3?
No, I'm fucking around.
1 is
Sorry.
1, 2 is 2.
Yeah, let's do 3. Let's do 3.
Okay.
I got it.
You got what?
3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Kenny Samsel's here. How you doing, Kenny?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Pretty
Very good to see you, man. Did you change your hair yet again?
You know it. I went from the blonde and I got some magenta.
Yay, Magenta Kenny.
And if you're watching on Twitch, I coincidentally matched the shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You almost look like a villain in Hunger Games at this point, right?
Never seen the Hunger Games.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, I know of the movies.
At least the first one, right, Sam? Wouldn't you agree? Like, the first Hunger Games the first Hunger Games goes when all the kids are in there looking for the weapons.
Well, you went on an entire Hunger Games, adventure.
Yeah.
So.
I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
What have you been up to, Kenny?
Enough with the idle chit chat.
Yeah, no chit chat about your woke hair. Let's get down to business.
I was in Denver, Colorado for an event. It was the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce.
All right.
Basically just a huge event with a bunch of LGBT businesses getting together and networking and all that stuff. But one of the events was at Coors Field where the Rockies play. Yeah. And it was a huge, celebration. There wasn't a game going on, but it was one of those, hey, you get to, run the bases and, check out the VIP areas and stuff. It was happening at the exact same time, and this kind of goes to companies just will take money. They don't care. It was happening at the same time as a funeral service for an old person's home, and someone died, and their wishes were to get their ashes spread at the field. So,
but not with those people around.
You got to start reeling it back with the ashes thing.
So
it's out of control.
Someone threw their mom's dead ashes on stage with Pink. Did you guys see that? Like, we gotta stop.
I did see that.
Well, this one was at
least Pink was nice enough to be respectful about it.
Well, this one was sanctioned by the team. So keep in mind, it's an evening event. So you have these flamboyant gay and lesbian people,
running the bases.
Dozens of them, just having fun. A lot of them are in attire that outshines me. And then about 100 feet away, you have this sad family that's slowly spreading the ashes in the outfield.
So were they
were
they sectioned off, or were you?
All right.
Did they go to the outfield and then the other conference was running the bases, or did they wander and commingle?
Well, they started them. There's obviously VIP areas in any given stadium. So our event was in one giant area. They had their service in like another one. Well, at the same time that it was officially time for them to go out and spread it,
Don't say official time to go out and spread it.
Well, so it was a point where it's like
Ben's saying he's a pervert. He's slipping it in there.
Yeah, can you write that down, please, Sam? That is the only time we have it confirmed that he is a pervert.
I've never denied that.
Okay.
I wasn't a pervert.
Fair enough. So it's time to spread it.
So time to spread it. And then meanwhile, everyone on the group that I'm with, they're just drunk and they convinced the people. I mean, we were going to do it anyway.
Eater. Eat your mom's ashes.
Well, yeah. So then they're doing that. So yeah, it's just grossly disrespectful because you're having people just like shout and yell and they're just drunk running the bases.
I love it.
Also, when Peepaw made these wishes clear in the 1950s, when he was like, I want my ashes spread at the Rockies, the Colorado Rockies. Coors Field. Probably would have guessed what would it be happening during.
In my day, we didn't need mountains to tell us it was cold. We touched the goddamn beers.
I hope he's looking down from heaven now. He's like, no!
Oh, look at him running the bases, not the bases.
One of the cool things about the stadium, though, is so they call it the Mile High City, but the city itself isn't actually a mile high, which is kind of a lie. But at the stadium in like the upper
Everything's
deck,
a lie. Did you hear about Dak Prescott's tattoo?
No.
It's a lie. Everything's a lie.
Well, in the stadium at like 15 rows up on the high top end, there's a whole row of seats that are purple, and that's to signify exactly 1 mile up from sea level. So in Denver, you actually have to be up high in a building or in the stadium to truly be a mile high.
The purple seat, sit in the diabetes purple seats up there.
And there was always a thing where in the first couple weeks of the NFL, like gamblers were talking about how that Denver and the Broncos had an advantage because of the altitude.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
they do in
opposing
baseball,
teams
too. They talk about it all the time.
coming in, although that didn't work this past weekend. They got a Russell Wilson problem, but but you can't notice it. It's same thing with like the heat or the cold or whatever. Like these athletes are such in good condition, and
Don't they have those masks that they train with now to kind of?
Yeah.
Well, they suck oxygen on the sidelines and stuff, which hinders the whole.
Cheating.
No. Yeah. Well,
I guess, write that down. Yeah, that is cheating.
Breathe natural
we need
oxygen.
some oxygen. We should have that while we're doing the show. It's like.
Yeah.
I got to wear one of those. My co-host, when he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, trained with one of those oxygen deprivation masks to like basically train his body for thinner air. But he's on the treadmill, like running miles with it on. I put it on just for 10 minutes, and my unhealthy self could barely function. Just 10 minutes talking normally. With
Sometimes
it on.
you guys. Sometimes I'll lay in bed, and I'll hold my breath. And then run a stopwatch to see how long I can. You ever feats of strength while you're laying in bed? And test, you ever test how long you can hold your breath?
No.
In bed, just in case somebody came in and was choking me out. Like I want to be prepared. So I test myself every night before I go to bed. I try to hold my breath for at least 3 minutes.
Well, there's a difference between
brain damage.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's how I go to sleep.
Well, when you're just right before sleep in your bed in pure silence, holding your breath, and then someone holding and choking you,
that's what I'm preparing for.
The adrenaline though will hurt your time. That's all I'm saying. I don't think you could. You'd have to plan with the adrenaline.
I'm gonna have to start implementing adrenaline training now into my breath holding.
You need someone to scare you. Anyway.
Okay, all right.
Well, so going back to that, you're right. People in Denver, athletes have said that they're able to train for it, because it's not that high up. The only time that it's been said by athletes is when they go to like Mexico City, and Mexico City is something like 9,000 feet in the air, and it's stupidly high up. So that's the time where they have those like exhibition games or even the regular season games there where they are struggling, and it is like a huge environmental shock.
One of the greatest, but never it was a greatest coaching decision that never happened thing that I heard of was I believe this was a couple years ago when they were doing a game in Mexico City. And so Belichick requested, I guess coaches can put in requests for schedules, and then I'm sure Belichick's, request gets weighed heavier than everybody else.
I would imagine, yeah.
But he requested that they play in Denver the week before. because
almost
of the
like
altitude.
in preparation, yeah.
And then they stayed in Denver in preparation for the Mexico City because New England was going to play in Mexico City, which was brilliant.
It's like putting your team in an like putting them in a
hyperbaric chamber.
Hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you can do as a player as well. You could sleep in hyperbaric chambers, which basically, get your blood prepared for altitudes. The chamber simulates that altitude, and then you start making more. I forgot, what is it, like red or white blood cells?
I think it is.
Red blood cells. You start because that's what altitude
depletes.
You make the longer you're in higher altitudes, the more red blood cells your body will make, and then you'll get more accustomed to it, and then your
the sports
body
science stuff is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And Mexico City is 1.5 miles high, so it's not 9,000 feet. Just want to make sure I'm not EJing a situation here. So with that too, imagine an entire 52-man roster all in hyperbaric chambers, and it would look like the scene from The Matrix where they're all just like in pods.
I think that's pretty cool,
that
though.
night.
Yeah.
And
Or like that one movie that old Chris Pratt was in where he woke up early and then he woke the girl up because he was lonely.
Oh, yeah.
And then she got all mad.
But
you'd have to get like a triple XL sized one for some of these linemen, though.
Oh,
that
yeah.
hyperbaric chamber is
yeah. And so I would imagine that some of those guys can't sleep in that because they'd be like, hey, dog, this is claustrophobic. I think there's going to be some people that ain't going to want to do it.
But then the lack of sleep and the normality of their schedule would be hinder them worse than the damn altitude at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it also doesn't work for all positions too, like a pass rusher or whatever, someone that is just constantly running full speed as much as they can.
Well, that sounds fun. So how long were you there?
I was there for an entire week. It was one of the largest shows that I've ever done.
Nice.
But it was one of those things where, when it's that big of a show, I'm in the hotel room or the ballroom for 75% of the time. Like, I'm barely able to go out. It was those last couple of days, though, that was a hell of a lot of fun. And I went out to Meow Wolf. That was out there.
Yeah, I want to go there.
Yeah, it's awesome. And
what is that?
Tom, you would not understand it at all.
Right.
Like it's
sort of like art meets pop party installation fun, right?
And it's all interactive. Like it's basically an entire weird interactive.
Tom hates interactive.
Yeah, so like imagine one of those like Legoland or Slime Land kind of things, but it's
Slime Land. Where's Slime Land?
I was trying to think whatever the slime place you went to.
That's my wife's
in
yoga pants. Slime Land.
But it's one of those things, but it's all like
that was
weird. Yeah, there you go. It's weird art. It's like weird shaped things. There's weird storylines that are going on.
Tom hates weird shaped things. I like standard shape.
Like you'll go
Square,
with
triangle.
Yeah, I knew you love the triangle.
Yeah, like bring up Meow Wolf in Denver.
Sphere.
Like,
That's it.
Yeah, you know the one he hates the most? Rhombus. Hates a rhombus.
Oh boy. Yeah, gotta have those parallel lines, man. I'm telling you. But I did that for a few days, and that was a lot of fun. I haven't done much show since, but in October, I'll basically be living in Washington, D.C. So if anyone, if any BDMs are out there, let me know and hit me up.
Here's why I hate the experimental art, the whole what do they used to call someone puts a bunch of umbrella somewhere. They do they do it down in Miami and
they do it
Dre
for
and everybody would go down
Art Basel.
Basel.
They do it up here.
I hate that name, by the way.
I do. I hate it too because it makes me think of a man named Art Basel, like an old man with a big bristly mustache. They do it here with a little tiny Orlando. One of our better known art installations we've had is where people take brown lunch bags for children and they form them into poorly made mushrooms. And you stick the paper bag mushroom all around the courtyard and then people see it. They're like, Trashville. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
What am I supposed to do, Kenny, when I walk up to...
Bring it up, Dan. Like, bring up Meow Wolf and just, like, show Tom just what it is. Because it's a bunch of different rooms, and you're supposed to... It's all physical art and technology based. So you'll hit a button, and a screen will play this really weird message, which will interact with this other stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be one of those.
Message?
What's your goddamn message?
What's the point of it?
What are you doing?
The whole point is just to experiment because another thing with Meow Wolf is there's hidden rooms and stuff, so you're not you're supposed to interact to where you might find a different room that other people may not know about or go into.
Okay, so it's a fun house?
Kind of.
Yeah, Meow Wolf opens portals of possibility. You already lost me when you're trying to be too crazy. We redefine the paradigm of
I
art and
hate
storytelling.
You hate reading too.
Anybody that uses, when you use portal and paradigm in the same, I'm out.
God.
I'm out.
But I will say, get high or take
Yeah.
some mushrooms, wander through it. It is one of the best experiences.
It's
ever.
a nerd
So,
warehouse, right? It's a
explain-
nerd warehouse.
What? Okay, because
They're
you haven't.
allegedly they're maybe building one in Orlando. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's the latest rumor.
Yeah.
It started in New Mexico, of all places.
Yeah, Santa Fe.
And then it
I
went out-
almost went to Santa Fe for my birthday instead of Sedona just to go to the original Meow Wolf.
So what's it like? Okay, you walk into a room. What's in the room?
Okay.
Yeah, because you have
okay,
explained a
here's
portal
one.
to a paradigm.
Yeah, here.
Okay, so the one in Denver, the storyline is 4 different planets collided, and it's called a convergence, and now you have this one giant mass of 4 different styles of rooms. So
I
you'll
think Jimmy even went to this.
you'll go in
Who,
there.
Jim Colbert?
Yeah.
Oh, I would never go to this. Too conservative. He'd burn this place to the ground.
But it-
He'd
That
burn
was
it to the
years
ground.
ago. I distinctly think I
Yeah.
remember his Instagram.
Like,
video.
He
one of the
only went there to
rooms-
probably protest it.
The
One of
only art he likes is thin blue lines.
I know, all over the place.
But one of the rooms is like, imagine an alien downtown, and so you'll have like a movie theater and a laundromat and stuff, but it's all weird shapes and it's all weird things that are
An
are
alien
going around.
downtown.
Yeah.
Is this a usable alien?
And then
An
another
alien
one,
laundromat.
yeah, and then
I
another.
think I've been to that.
And then, like, one of the, washing machines will have a bunch of plastic eyeballs in it. And it's just constantly
how
spinning.
does this benefit my life? Do I buy the eyeballs, or I'm like, oh, I'm experiencing the eyeballs in the dryer, yay?
Well, that's just one thing. And then you'll walk around, and then
am I supposed to applaud these artists for their use of whimsy?
Is there meaning to it, or is it just random?
it's random. But I mean, there is a
That's what I don't like.
storyline, but it's random. Like, there is no meaning. You're not supposed to be like, oh, this is the plight of the human, Native American.
So it's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. Tom's out.
The washing machine with eyeballs in it. Like, am I supposed to be like, whoa?
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, eyeballs in a washing
Don't
machine.
give us a whoa.
That's so ironic.
Yeah, little bit like.
Or are you supposed to be
But
like,
what-
he's washing his eyeballs because of the atrocities he's seen in
No,
the world?
nothing to do with that. It was just absolute randomness. And then there'll be other stuff like at a giant crystal palace that's all around you. They had one where it was like a fake Chuck E. Cheese, and it was like a giant pizza monster, and it would be like a whole pizza party
Well,
type
I
of
could
place.
go to regular Chuck E. Cheese, and it's like, and it's real.
There is one room though that it's like creepy ass clowns, and it's just like a whole bunch of, oh my god, you're just gonna like
Is this just a trap to
murder
get
you.
people's money?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So each artist puts together their own room, and
We
then
can do
you
that.
walk
We can
through-
do our own.
But they're all connected. Here's the washing machine full of eyeballs that I was telling you about.
Not
Okay,
as
just
good.
Spins.
Not as good as I thought.
But it's a lot of interactive stuff. So there'll be some things where, like you'll play quote unquote games, and some of the games are like, oh, you're going to vote for the next election of this make believe planet. And it's just a bunch of aliens and stuff. And what you press will affect what alien pops out in front of you, kind of thing.
So it's just a new experience. It's
Correct.
like a escape room
It's like a fun art museum escape room type
thing. Yeah.
And the whole
it's an
thing is-
entertainment installation.
You're
Choose your own
encouraged.
adventure.
You're encouraged to touch every door because there is a different pathway to each individual room, and
Which is a metaphor for life. Touch every door.
and some rooms you can only access in other ways, so you may not be able to experience the entire thing because it is a giant ordeal. You spend hours in there doing it. Tom's frozen face.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what to do
He
with it.
glitched McConnell.
Yeah, you did. You didn't know what to do. You're just like,
because I'm really trying to.
How much is it to go in?
I think it was like $30, $40.
Okay, that's not
per
bad.
person.
That's not that bad. If you had told me the price that I played at Slumu, I'd have said, no, sir. Because Slumu was very expensive.
It's all subjective. I understand, and I can't stop but think. Or stop thinking that I'd much rather see the Grand Canyon than this, or some sort of mountain, or
Right.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
not an art guy though.
Yeah. no.
like nature.
You're less of a human achievement, more of a, this was formed by millions
But if you
of
think about it,
years.
you have to make the trek to go see the Grand Canyon or to see these other nature things. This thing is right next to Mile High Stadium, and you could just go to it
right.
easily, and then come back. You're at a bar now, and it's done.
Yeah, but the mountains are right next to Mile High Stadium too. You could just drive into there.
Right,
Although those people have probably seen a million mountains, and it doesn't move
Rock
the
'em
needle
all.
Yeah.
anymore, and they want to see. I guess the randomness of it That's what I don't like, because
it's a lot of opportunities for woes, though. I mean, you're talking about the mountains. You go up there, you're like, whoa, and that's it.
Well, you have to think about it, too.
This is giving you multiple woes.
But it's just like a dream. Like someone had a dream and just put everything together that they had a random dream.
That is, I think, the reason why he doesn't like it, because I think that's a perfect explanation. It is literally someone's insane
not for you.
dream.
But
no one ever thought it was.
But I would say executing that is really, like,
of course.
It's like, that's the most impressive thing to me. Anybody can come up with, like, eyeballs in a dryer. Anybody can do that. But, like, making the eyeballs in the dryer, making it work and function and look cool.
Listen, I understand the craftsmanship of putting a whole room together.
I heard that too.
We should have that, shouldn't we? Craftsmanship?
It's
like being dirty.
They had to build it. They had to make this art. They had to put it together. The functionality of it, like, it took a bunch of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've always enjoyed a bunch of work for nothing. That makes me laugh in comedy.
Then there is some redeeming qualities here, because it is a waste of time.
It's impressive because like you guys did with the studio with the carpet and the signage and stuff. But imagine this times 10, where literally the door frames, the lights, the TVs are all themed in the exact same way.
Although this was for a purpose, which was to impress clients and guests to believe that we're professional.
Right. It was a trap. This was a trap.
So, like, this is just for the sake of art.
Yeah.
There's no other purpose beyond that, right?
Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole quote-unquote point is you're supposed to find out the storyline. Why did these 4 planets converge? What is the meaning behind it? Not meaning as in the meaning as it relates to life, but a meaning of, you're supposed to figure out the story. Like, these people have been kidnapped or they've disappeared.
You got to do some work to figure out the story.
I like that. I do, because then I look at it like it's no different than going to a movie or reading a book or reading a magazine.
But you don't have to do that. You could also just wander in each room and play around with all the stuff. Like, there's Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but with rats with baseball bats. That's one of the things, is you could play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with rats that have baseball bats on attached to them.
I would support that. Are they real rats?
I don't think so.
Oh, I wanted the real rats with baseball bats.
How much does this meow thing cost?
$30, he said.
Yeah,
$30. Okay.
Asked and answered.
Okay.
Counselor.
Oh,
he only listens to himself.
Sorry.
You gonna take that? You gonna take that from a man with pink hair?
So what else you got?
Moving on.
I'm done with it.
You were talking about you getting scammed before. I'll admit I've been scammed as well, although not via telemarketer. It was one of those. Few years ago, I was trying to buy tickets to a football game up in Seattle, and I've had a great luck going on Craigslist or going on Facebook and buying tickets to sporting events, because it's all digital. You're literally able to, like, get it from them, and you can send them Venmo or whatever. And this one phone number, they texted me, and we were texting back and forth for tickets to a Seahawks game, and it was like pretty amazing seats. And they were going to be $200 a pair, which was like fairly decent. It was priced right. They were talking. This was when Russell Wilson was on the team, so they were talking about the team with me. The guy was like, "These are my season tickets. That's why they're priced the way they are." And I looked up how much season tickets were, how much he's selling.
Legit.
So everything seemed legit, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not a problem." Gave him my email, and he goes, "Not a problem." I get one of those like confirmation emails from Ticketmaster, and it was legit from Ticketmaster saying someone wants to connect with you, blah blah blah. I sent him $400, never got the tickets.
Really?
Never once got the tickets. Now, the thing that should have tipped me off was the number I was texting. He gave me a different number to send the money to.
Yeah.
Because he said, it's my wife's number. We have a joint account. It's under her phone number. So I sent her the money, supposedly.
I don't trust people with joint accounts.
Well, did you follow up with this guy?
Well, of course I did. And of course they ghosted me and like didn't send anything back. And I tried to, like make a complaint to it. Now, thankfully, because I was using Zelle through my bank account, I was able to get the money back via that way.
Zelle is so sweet. She's so nice.
But yeah, and I was upset. I was $400 that I potentially could have been locked out of, because I truly believed, this scammer on Facebook or on
This is
Craigslist.
what you do.
You know how they get you.
This is what you do. You gamble with these type of Craigslist ne'er-do-wells and scofflaws.
You know how they get you a lot of times is like if you go through like Airbnb or whatever portal that you get connected with.
I only like doctors' portals.
But they take a percentage, because that's how these businesses run, right? So oftentimes the person will be like, "Hey, just send me the money outside of this, so we don't have to pay the fees."
Yep.
Right?
Yes,
and I can get
you
behind
every time.
He'll give me everything. I'm like,
this
yes.
guy's like me. He's a patriot.
Yeah,
Do it.
I'm like, this makes sense because I would do that too.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I do all the fees. I paid one ticket. Each ticket was $9,000.
Now, I'd like to think if this guy's going to be scamming it for hundreds of dollars, like these are probably fake numbers. Even though the area code's lined up in Seattle, he's probably getting like
it's
those.
like a WhatsApp thing.
Yeah, or he's getting the Google generated numbers or whatever. So I tried to get him back. I got on one of those like text spamming sites. And I basically did, I inputted both of those numbers, so it's like it will like nonstop barrage him with phone calls, with texting, with all that stuff. So
I like the evil streak you have.
I would like to think that I was annoying the crap out of him, and that trying to, teach him a little lesson. But
what's the number? Let's call it right now.
But I'm sure it was a fake number. I'm 100% sure.
Did Zell give you the money back?
I had to argue with them about it because Zell was like, you knew what you were doing.
You know what you were doing, baby.
I'm not giving you money back. It's your job to not get scammed.
Yeah. If you spend as much time on your tickets as you do your hair color, you would have got scammed.
Our business is
what I would say.
We offer peer-to-peer ability to send money.
And we did our job. Good day, sir.
Yeah.
Let me say this. This was, again, a few years ago when Zelle wasn't as widely used. So now if you send something to Zelle to someone not in your contacts list, it will give you like a 10-page message.
Are you sure that you want to send this
money?
It's like,
do not send it to people who are asking for this or that or that. So I didn't get that the first time. I was like, just phone number. I'll just totally do it.
Also, never admit that you got scammed to the bank. Always say someone stole your debit card.
True.
Oh, well, okay, so that's
right on that.
Well, I mean,
I don't know what happened. You just got to plead ignorance.
I didn't make this purchase.
Actually, so what I did in my scamsel ways, when I talked to them about it, I said, I was meeting up with this person and they were trying to get me to use Zelle, and I'm like, I don't know how to use Zelle. They grabbed my phone and they started hitting numbers.
Too far. I'd say this man's a liar.
Yeah, you've gone too far.
Yeah, well, listen, it worked. I got my money back.
You just reminded me of something that, speaking of buying something peer-to-peer and scams and stuff.
Did you get scammed again?
No, but every time I do buy like a car from someone or some vehicle, four-wheeler,
you're always buying cars.
And then something that you have to get titled from the DMV, right?
Yeah.
So in the past, and I still ran into this a little bit, even with buying my son's four-wheeler from someone, where they would just say, like, I'll leave the part where it says what you buy it for blank so you can put whatever you want, or I'll put, $10 or $100, like way under the value so you don't have to pay the taxes.
Right.
As if they're doing you a solid, right? So sometimes they're like, I'll put $10 so you know.
Sure.
And, but, every time they did that or do that, I always think, like, why not just put $1 or 10 cents? Like, it's already so low that it's like, no one, and they don't, I don't think they like say like $10 for a Honda Civic. They don't even.
It's apparent that this was a friend or family deal.
Yeah, and
when we see that, right?
And I don't the DMV lady or guy doesn't question what the value.
Right.
They just put down the cost, right? So
why is it even on there?
I don't even,
you're kind of right. It's like,
they want taxes. That's why.
No, I understand that, but if nobody's doing it because we're all selling things for 10 cents, does it even matter? Well, because we're all doing it.
So there's always that urban legend about the wife who caught her husband cheating, and so I'm gonna sell his 1970 Camaro for $1, and I'll show him. And so that's the urban legend. So I think now people think it's like,
I have never heard that urban legend.
Yeah,
someone selling their car.
Yeah, I remember my dad saying that, or something. My mom, maybe when my
mom
bust
out their windows or slash their tires.
My mom and dad were arguing about something. My mom was like, "She's gonna sell Dad's Harley for $1."
Yeah,
never heard that.
Yeah,
because it was
that's
like
a thing. That's an old man
they
thing.
love this car more than they loved me, so I'm gonna
it's
get
a Gran Torino.
Yeah.
It's like you sell the old man's prized
my
possession.
dad's Chris Craft, boat.
Which I don't think and I guess if it was owned by both of them, you could sell it, but you can't just sell someone else's property if it's only owned by that person, right?
But most of the stuff, if you're a good Florida man, you put most of your stuff in your wife's name because the revenuers coming to get it. Like all of my vehicles are in Andrea's name because when I was short selling my house and scam crazy, and I thought big Clear Channel's coming to sue me, I have everything in her. Everything is in my scooters, my cars, everything.
I know it's under your name.
I don't have a pot to pee in.
But if you have what is it, the pink slip or whatever, couldn't you just...
Couldn't find it. Don't even know where it's at.
But I'm like, even if it's not in your name, couldn't you just physically give them the pink slip and sell it and just be like, oh no, we're married? Like, how are they going to argue against that?
Well, she could come back, right, and say that my name's on it.
you'd have to sign the title over. I don't know.
We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, if the title is, if someone, I guess if you have the physical title and then you signed it over, then it'd be hard to prove that
anything.
I don't know. Anything else, Kenny, or are you done?
Yeah, no. Listen, I got stories, man.
Yeah.
I did a show out at Disney. It wasn't for Disney. It was at Disney, and it was for like the Orlando, like, visit Orlando type of, hey, come, whatever. And Mickey and Minnie were there, and I got to do a bunch of rehearsals.
Mickey and Minnie who?
The mouse. The mouse. Oh, yeah, the mouses. And it was interesting because they are very protective of them. Like, even when they're in full costume, backstage, you can't take a photo of them backstage. I had to sneak photos and stuff because if it's backstage, it's like it's not proper. It's not like the the nice Disney look that they want to have. So you don't want to see Minnie Mouse surrounded by a bunch of like truss and cabling and like having
somebody on their smoke break.
Yeah.
Mickey's
a bit of a Chris Brown backstage.
Even
he's
though
a loose cannon.
Even though full like head to toe dress or whatever, you still can't have them like mingling around with the behind the scenes.
Of course not.
How much do they I guess scan the internet for those type of things? Because you bring up a good point that
I think they just don't let it happen.
I rarely see any cast members with behind the scenes photos or like even underground, like the tunnels and stuff. Like I never see photos.
I would
of
imagine
that.
they bring a hammer down pretty hard on
they
that.
didn't care. Like if you buy those tours and stuff, like you can take pictures and stuff.
But I'm saying
in
like
the tunnels.
employees.
No.
Yeah.
So if I work for Disney and I take a behind, like I'm sitting there with my head off, a costume, and I'm like eating a sandwich underground.
They wouldn't let you do it.
No, well, I mean,
you could be down there, but
how long before they catch it if I posted it on my Facebook?
I've seen some that are on history sites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And normally they'll let those roll, but man, I think if you're actively working there, I would imagine they rat that out pretty fast.
But they could fire you, but they can't physically log on and take down the post. So then what can they do?
I mean, this could be a question for Mo, but it's one of those where they threaten you with not just firing you but suing you.
Almost like an NDA type.
Yeah, I guess you signed a contract probably.
And basically, like Mickey Mouse's head being off their body is damaging to the brand. So we're now going to sue you for millions of dollars because you have damaged our brand by showcasing and showing.
Yeah.
That's bad luck.
That sounds about right.
Well, also,
and I think the threat of it, is able to do it. Now, I will say, and we've seen the mouses before, they are tiny, and so the people who can fit in them are like 4'10" females.
Yeah,
that's it. So I don't think they're going to be the nefarious type. They're going to be the ones that do it. Although I will say the dance rehearsals of just people not hanging out in costume is quite hilarious to see them still do all the mannerisms and all the everything, but just normal human bodies.
Weren't there like some employees that were selling memorabilia?
Yeah, like the costuming.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And
they always had that. They probably always will have that, where they every once in a while
they got that guy though.
Yeah,
but
that guy
he
was
got away with it for a little bit,
yeah.
for a minute. And then, like, occasionally you can find, and I think Sam's even found some of this stuff. Like, you can occasionally find, like, uniforms from the
Yeah.
like, I have a shirt from, like, the original Trader Sam's bar or something, like, that was, like, the shirt that the bartenders wore, Yeah. I mean, you can find stuff like that, but props and stuff like that,
even like
they crack that down hard.
I bet there's stuff like in the ride, the Small World or something. Like there's probably been stuff stolen and taken home, and then, do they like?
But there's also cameras everywhere.
Yeah. I'm wondering, they try to get that stuff back.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the network
like
of
the
cameras.
control room.
Yes. Yeah, I want to see where one person can sit and like literally track a person through the park.
How many people are doing that per day at one,
Well, now with the advent of facial scanning recognition, I'm sure they're able to like know precisely who is where and at what time. So that way if something like that...
They track you on your Magic Band too.
Is there someone watching?
I was talking about just the behind the scenes people, like the employees.
Like, okay, there's cameras all inside the rides to keep people, like if someone got off, like it would set off some sort of alarm, if you got off, it's a Small World ride and then got in the water or whatever.
Saw a lady do that.
They'll stop the ride, turn on the lights, and like, security will come and stuff. Is that just being done by like sensors,
I don't
or
think
are there a human being watching
Human
all
beings.
rides?
There's definitely human. It's
Yeah.
very similar to like Vegas casinos. There's there's a giant control room with TVs galore and just
there's
people's jobs.
full-time people
Because from
watching
what I
that.
understand, they try to handle it quietly. They're not going to
Yes.
flip the lights on and shut the ride down.
A lot of times when a ride is like, oh, we're having it's because somebody
Mm-hmm.
got up on the ride.
Yeah,
Now,
and
and
then the guys will come in quietly
should-
and they just kind of escort you out a
Yep.
different way, and then they're back to normal.
We should try to find someone who does that, because I've never talked to
I don't
anybody.
think they can talk about it.
Yeah.
No?
I don't think they're allowed because that.
Now maybe
that,
if somebody no longer works there and they don't mind, I don't know.
That's possible, but I do believe that what you're talking about are people that are actively employed to make sure that they stay magical.
Is it
Like,
on?
I'm talking about the real magicians or the guys that secretly and quietly go through the park and escort every knucklehead out.
Well, this could be done off-site too, technically, because you could just broadcast the image to anywhere.
Yeah,
so,
but
like then,
but you risk someone intercepting that broadcast.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
So now the crazy thing about this is with Mickey and Minnie, this was in a like conference ballroom, so it wasn't as heavy with the cameras, and in fact, it was one of those. We're in a ballroom. We're doing a corporate style event. So the fact that they were there means they had extra people around them to make sure that things didn't happen, because they are walking around like where the loading docks are, where the waiters and waitresses are pushing those giant trays of catered food and stuff like that. So that's where they're coming in and out of. But normally, like let's say in the park, you'll just have one or two people standing around Mickey Mouse. This one, there was like half a dozen people standing around making sure that no one's taking photos and bothering them, and God forbid anything were to happen.
Because they're off-site and
Well, it on Disney property, but it was at one of the hotel's like ballrooms.
Okay, got it.
What were
instead
they
of, like, a park.
wearing? What was the Mickey and Minnie attire?
It was just one of those like they were singing whatever the song that they do at the fireworks show. I forgot what the name of it is this year, but they were just wearing their normal like Mickey Mouse fancy attire.
I
She
like
was
the
wearing
Four
her dress.
Seasons has a whole outfit for Mickey that's like
Oh.
an orange sweater and like golf shorts and
Yeah.
golf shoes and a hat, and he looks so
Like
cool.
country club golf.
Yeah, but he only wears it at the Four Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen them dress differently depending on like the beach club. There'll be a
Yep.
the whole beach Mickey.
And supposedly they're not supposed to blend it too quickly. For instance, if you see Mickey, and this is just what I've been told, this could be all BS, but I've been told if you see Mickey over at like the beach club and he's in a beach outfit, around that area, you shouldn't see him pop up cool, like immediately in his like magic outfit with a top hat. Like they're like, no, because that's not possible. You got to give it a beat because he's only one mouse.
Yeah.
Trying to keep
Exactly.
They try to keep him on a schedule that would be quote attainable throughout the day.
What
I
fascinates
don't know
me
if I believe that, but
about the Disney Corporation is that they are a cutthroat, ruthless business. You know what I'm saying? That
Oh, yeah.
it's only about the bottom line, but they have to have this air of like, this is a magical place and we're all fun and this is all like family friendly and stuff, but they are they're similar to any other billion-dollar corporation, and I've heard
kinda
Disney
they set the bar, man.
Yeah.
They are the corporation, right?
yeah.
yeah.
They're the one we look at and we're like,
So with that, like it was a whole performance, not just they were there, but you had singers, you had dancers and stuff. Dancers, I'm not trying to knock on them at all, but dancers, please get out of the way when you're backstage stretching, because I literally had like half a dozen dancers just all doing splits. They're all
rude.
like sprawled out, and I'm like, I have to still walk around and do stuff, and they're just like
I'm
taking
more
up
important than you. I'm
the
goddamn
most
Kenny.
space back there. And
I'm
it's,
Pink Carrot Kenny. You
again,
stupid dancers.
I don't care, but at the same time, you'll just have a dude like take his leg and just like slap it up 6 inches away from
All
my
right.
face, and I'm like, again, I have to work, man. Like I don't know what
I'm
you're
doing a
trying to do
real
here.
job here, not this prancing and dancing like you're doing.
Any last thing, Kenny, before we go, or is
2 moves, TOOMOOFS.
What have you guys been talking about on the Moves podcast lately?
Oh man, Matt had a $3,600 bill from OUC because his and it wasn't an error. He had a new sod installed, and the person that installed it incorrectly set his automatic like watering system, so it ran like 45 times a day for a straight month, and he basically had $3,000 worth of water charges.
That's what you're doing.
Did you notice it? It was like, it's always wet when I wake up.
Well, it stinks in here.
Because it was new sod, I guess. Like, he thought that it was, it was just a part of the thing. And again, he's very aloof like you.
I'm glad you brought this up because Crystal's been bitching about our water bill for years now, right? And I was always like, I think that's what water costs. How do I know?
Yeah.
What do I look like, Mr. Water?
Basically, so he was basically found out it's the equivalent of filling up a pool every single day for a month.
Oh my
what
God.
he was spending in water.
Impressive.
So,
That's impressive.
So then Crystal puts up this post about like, our water bill's like $160 a month, right? And then she's like, what's everybody else's average water bill? And then what she's figured out from all the posts is that Seminole County charges more for water than Orange County and other counties.
Oh, yeah.
But what my question, why?
So
Indian water, man.
there's
going up. That's artesian Indian
it's
water.
all coming from the same place.
No, this is artesian Seminole Indian water.
Yeah, and some of it's reclaimed. Some of it is taken from a different source, and they have different contracts. But yeah, like I think my water bill is only like
you got that artesian
$30 a month.
But that's all the same.
No, Seminole, high pressure.
And it also depends if you're OUC or if you're Duke or depending where your water. Your water.
Well,
goes.
I know that, but yeah, I know it's all politics and all like
how much
county,
water are you using?
county taxes and stuff like that. No, but it's actually more expensive per gallon than it is in other counties.
How much more a gallon?
I don't know, but Crystal's like it's more, and I'm like, how can it be more? It doesn't make any sense.
Again, the biggest chunk of it is one is clearly using reclaimed water, and the other one is taking it from a fresher source. That's basically the main.
I don't buy that.
So wait, reclaimed is more expensive? Reclaimed
I have no idea. Basically, it's one has to spend a lot to reprocess it. The other one doesn't reprocess it because they're buying it.
Let's just
cleaner.
run a hose from my house to your house. Let's do what my dad used to do with cable.
My neighbors did that in Deltona.
Yeah,
right
let's do
across the road.
Let's do it.
Not even you would think like I gotta bury this or do something.
No,
just running across the road from my pool shed.
The people who steal electricity, are they running just one extension cord from their neighbor's house? Are they like running? Are they doing the one extension cord to a power strip, and that power strips do another
what
power
did you
strip?
Think they were doing?
Yeah, you daisy chain it.
There is an extension cord, that Ross extension cord
It's
that
impressive.
he found.
It's so impressive.
It's from the telephone pole. From like, there's an outlet up there from when they put like, I guess they do holiday lights around the city, or
it was
the
there for some
Longwood
candy cane.
I don't even know what it's there for, but they ran it down the telephone pole into someone's backyard.
Yeah.
Like it's
like. How far is the cord?
Oh, it's like 800 yards. I'm
it's
not
the
even joking.
longest extension cord we've ever seen.
The
one cord.
That is incredible.
Could you imagine having one free extension cord for power? Like, what could you run up there? You could run a AC unit.
What would I choose to run?
Well,
I probably split it up a little bit, right?
The AC unit would be the most valuable thing,
or
right?
a refrigerator of some sort.
Yeah.
A tiny refrigerator.
Well, and it also depends. Is it that 220 or is it the 110? You know what I mean?
110.
Like, yeah.
You couldn't run a dryer or whatever, but you
no.
could probably run all the refrigerators and AC unit.
Your entire entertainment system, if you just plug in like a strip to it and you have your TV and
you could run like
Xbox
an Xbox
and your
a
stereo
TV.
system.
I'm telling
Stereo system. Who has stereo systems anymore?
I'm getting back into them.
Yeah.
I need to talk to some BDMs that know their way around a.
I guess in
vinyl
my mind, I'm thinking
stereo.
stereo system where it's just like the cabinet with
That's
this
what I
detachable
want.
speakers.
I want the
Okay.
old school. No, I don't want like a boombox. I want like. The receiver, and then I'm gonna put the old speakers, and that's. What I
here's
want.
an old man rant. Why is it when you had the boombox, the detachable speakers only went like 2 feet away from the
It's
actual
for pool
boombox?
parties, you idiot. What were
2
you
feet?
trying
Is
to
that
do?
really gonna make a difference?
It's for a pool party.
You're right. It's like just mush them together.
And then you got to wrap the wires around, and then
they're
hook
so
'em.
thin,
Yeah.
so thin.
Tiny little wires.
Kenny, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me, guys.
Good to see you, man. Two Moves podcast, TOO Moves.
Yep. Anywhere where podcasts are found,
Yep.
and we will be right back.
Awesome.
All right.
Good job, buddy.
Oh, right at 12 o'clock on the dot.
Ow! Dialed in. Where's that go?
That is Tuesday 3 and 4. I'll need an intro for this evening.
You listen to Colin Cowherd, right?
Yep.
He went 0 for 5 on his
Blazing 5.
his Blazing 5 picks, which kind of makes me happy because he talks a good game, but when he just face plants,
Yeah.
quite impressive.
He's picking from the lines that have already been, worked in place. You know what I'm saying? But he's picking them on the Saturday or the Friday before the Sunday game. So when you're picking that late, it's like you might as well. But to go 0-5 is as impressive to pick all wrong games. You know,
it is 5-0. And he also uses Fox Bet obviously because it's co-branded, and Fox Bet's odds seem to always be like a point or two different than most other ones, which is weird.
Are we going to lunch now?
Yes.
Have a good lunch, y'all.
See you guys.
We'll see you guys after lunch. Bye. Or we'll be on the BDM page.
Yeah.
See you over.